Getting straight into the charts, this is Sean with the Bitcoin Bros. Once again, we're taking a look at Vechain versus Bitcoin. We're taking a look at the charts. We're getting straight into this. Is a quick update on what we see in the market. So, taking a look at the Vechain versus Bitcoin comparative on the weekly charts. One thing we want to note is we're just going to look at some resistance and support levels. So, we're going to draw a diagonal, and this diagonal is going to hold each one of the respective recent lows way back to 2019. And look what happened. We bounced off this, bounced off it, put an ultimate high in, came back down, acted like we were going to retest it, came back up, and then fell through this support line, retested this. Coincidentally, if we zoom into this price action, what do we see? We see that on this retest, we retested it once and then twice, and this actually retested that macro support that's now flipped to resistance, ran in some traffic around the 20 and 200 and the Gaussian channel. So there's a ton of resistance. And then looking back at the charts and zooming out, since that level was hit, what did we see? We seen a major retracement. When we ran into this line here, we've seen a retracement against the Bitcoin comparative all the way down to 61%. So basically, if you were holding alts, specifically Vechain versus Bitcoin, you've seen a major loss against your Bitcoin valuation. So we've been hitting our head once, twice, 3 times, hit that Gaussian channel, that 200 moving average we could not get back above, and we fell off a cliff. So is it time to buy? Did we bottom out? So if we look at previous horizontal levels, we can just draw some lines here, mark up the chart really quick, and we can see we ran into some resistance here that acted as support. We draw this straight across, and what do we see? We see that this could be a major level to look at, because if you look here, we actually did run into this back in March of 2020 before ultimately getting rejected and holding this support before ultimately having that blast off, and then came back after we peaked out from that peak of that bull rally of 2020, and then came back down and tested this once, twice before ultimately having another blast off to the upside. So we came back down to this range at the current time of this recording, and we are still below that 20 moving average. We have not retested it yet. The 200 is sort of just chilling and trading sideways. So what can we anticipate? Could we see more lower price action? Zoom into the price. What do we see and what do we anticipate? One thing to note, look at this range right here between the 20 and the 200 moving average. We are extremely far apart. Up here, you know, we were sort of closer, but then we've been just sort of gaining farther and farther apart. So could this be the ultimate bottom in the comparative right here? So looking at the RSI, we did get this extreme red area. This is an indication that this could be a bottom. And we have then put in a higher low, a higher high, another higher low. So it looks like we could be trying to stair step our way out of the depths. Looking at the price action, to make it make sense, we do see that the price action has put in a low, has put in a high, has put in a new low, a lower low. So are we going to get back above this area right here? And are we going to see a higher high and get back above this 20 moving average? Now, if we do this, are we out the depths? Not necessarily, because we did this before. Right here, we put in a high, a low, put in a higher high, got back up to that 200 moving average and fell off a cliff. And as you see this major pull down here, we fall down, consolidate, fall down, consolidate, fall down. Are we going to consolidate again? Is this a longer consolidation phase before we see more lower price action? Right now, you have to be patient. You have to wait and see, because there's no guarantee that this is the ultimate bottom. We could still see lower price action. Now, looking at the RSI, we did get this red area, but we could come back down and put a lower low in still. Just because this was called out here doesn't mean anything. We're still very below the Gaussian, very below the 200 and the 20. If we get back above the 20 and start to put higher price action in, and then retest the lower area of that Gaussian and get back up there and start to stair step our way up, and then we want to see the 20 start to curl up and go back up towards that 200. That means that this trend will be changing. But right now, we're not seeing any of that. So right now, should you be in alts? Should you be in Bitcoin? Altcoins right now are on the fence. You don't want to make that play until you know this trend is reversing, because you want to look at your overall portfolio in Bitcoin valuation. There's only 21 million Bitcoin. There's hundreds of millions and billions of other alts. Only 21 million. Bitcoin is the scarcest. And once again, you really don't know with the regulatory clarity of what's a security, what's not, what's a commodity. We know Bitcoin is, but everything else, the regulatory clarity has not been hashed out. So until you get that clarity, you want to sit in on your hands and keeps dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin. Is it time to diversify yet? The Bitcoin bros can't give you that green light just right now, but this is an area we want to pay attention to as this macro support line. As you see here, it runs into a lot of confluence back in the chart. So is it a time to diversify into alts yet? Nope, we don't think so. Could it be in the near term? Yes, it could be around the corner. So just patience is a virtue.